Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be going over the brand new Crusader updates slash buffs and what actually has changed with the PTR with the second round of updates after doing my testing. So starting right off, are the changes good? I would say yes. Out of all the classes, I felt like Witch Doctor and the Crusader kind of got the short end of the stick with the first round of the PTR update, but with the second round, they are looking much better. So you're seeing a GR 150 in the background here. And if you're wondering, can it do clears? Yes. It's not just like one person doing a clear. There are multiple people doing this, as well as you can see, again, the gameplay in the background is using the brand new buffed up angels. So what are the newer changes with the angels? So previously what happened is these angels would actually have a very long cooldown, but now they no longer essentially have a cooldown. You're only allowed to have 2 angels out at once, but after casting Falling Sword, you're going to summon these angels. And so what the angels do now that's a little bit different, instead of that beam of light that would actually deal damage and then you have to wait for a long cooldown, now how it works is you can use Falling Sword, you have the angels come out, they're going to pop Condemn, and once they activate Condemn, that's going to deal massive amounts of damage. After they use that ability, you're going to then reset and recast Falling Sword. There's actually several different builds that have done a 150 using this strategy. In fact, all the ones that I'm currently aware of that are doing 150s are all doing this exact same strategy that you guys are seeing in the background here. So it's not actually our damage that's stealing damage, it's just the angels. So you can actually make a very, very tanky Crusader with the brand new changes. Basically, you can run whatever set that you want. I would recommend you can run a con so you can get extra cooldown with the Acrat's Champion using the Rally rune. That's going to give you extra cooldowns on everything. Now, I don't want this video to be a build guide because some of these may not make it past PTR. This build in particular is kind of just iffy. The reason why is because it is technically a ZDPS and you're basically relying on that Sanctified power to actually clear anything with this build. In fact, Crusaders, there's a lot of other builds that you can run to do like high GRs, but it's definitely not nearly as close as this one, especially because you don't really need to gear up at all for this one, other than you may need to get some gems up to just specifically getting things that will give you accurate survivability. So that's going to be a very interesting thing if they let this go through. I think it should go through because other than this ability, Crusaders are kind of lackluster in terms of what else they get for their changes. I've already went over the Fist of the Heavens one. That has not been changed, but the Hammer one did get changed, so I'll briefly go over that. I did technically do a dedicated video because I'm a huge fan of like Blessed Hammers from D2 and being able to teleport. That would have been really cool, or maybe if they added like a Zeal effect, but I think we're kind of done with maybe modifying these Sanctified powers. So, by the way, if you're wondering, is the 150 easy to clear? It's a little bit difficult. You're going to probably rely on a conduit, and even then, you're like barely being able to finish it. You need to summon the Rift Guardian and basically get a couple minutes on your timer, unless you get really lucky and you get a Condi right before, but it's not going to be the easiest thing. So if you're thinking, oh, is this my time to do a GR 150 easy? No, it's going to require you to fish for multiple. This took me a bunch of different tries to even get the Rift Guardian up, but this is essentially how people are doing the 150s. Now, going into the changes with the Blessed Hammer, let me give you guys gameplay of that. So the Hammer Crusader over here did also receive a buff with the crackling energy with the Sanctified power. So what it does now is it's supposed to actually work properly. I still feel like it's very underwhelming in terms of the gameplay. What it does is it's supposed to summon the Blessed Hammer and go straight forward, and then it basically returns. Think of it kind of like a boomerang Crusader. Very interesting playstyle, but overall I would still say that it feels very weak. Crusader's always been very squishy. That's why I really like the new Angel power for like the summoning of the angels. I think it's very, very fun to play. It opens up a new playstyle and it makes Crusader tanky. However, with the other builds of Crusader, I think LOD Bombardment is still very powerful and it doesn't really utilize any of the new Sanctified powers. I mean, you could use the angels for sure because they can be used in any build, but for the most part, I would say that you're looking at kind of running either a con for the brand new pet build, or you're running the Angel. The Blessed Hammer one's very lackluster even after it's been buffed. It needs either a huge numerical stat change or a different way that it interacts. Maybe it like boomerangs back and forth like 2 or 3 times before it goes away. Because I think at this point they're probably not going to be changing things too much, but it is nicer to have the hammer actually go straight because sometimes it's kind of hard to target the thing. So that's a nice change, but overall I would say unless we get a huge massive buff with Crusader, especially I believe it's getting a Rollins for the Hadrig's Gift, it's going to be a very rough start for Crusader, especially if the Angel Sanctified power actually does get like nerfed in some sort of way, because it's the only way that I would personally like recommend Crusader, but it's not easy to play and it does require you to fish for a lot of different rifts. Now I also want to go ahead and show off the Army Crusader. There actually has not been a change with this. You could still run whatever sanctified power that you want, but this one I think will be relatively safe. So if you guys are thinking about playing this build, because it doesn't really need any of the new powers, it's just basically the change to the concept, this is really fun. In fact, even in the build where I'm doing like the 150 that I showed you guys in the very beginning, that build is actually viable to play a cons, and you run the rally rune, so you can keep on spamming your falling sword, and then also you get some extra bowmen to kind of help out with a little bit of tankiness, maybe early on before you get all of your gem ups for like Esoteric and Mutilation Guard for like the damage reduction. But this build is definitely going to be a newer build of Crusader that has emerged. The Fist of the Heavens build actually has not been changed. It's an okay-ish speed run build, but you can play LOD Bombardment, and if you really want to go fast early in the season, I think Demon Hunter will be kind of the go-to with a Strafe Impale. That can clear like 100 with such ease. You literally get the Shadow set, you get the Guardian two-piece with a Roaring and Grandeur, and you're just zooming instantly. So I would probably recommend those for speed. In fact, this brings me up to the next talking point of I'm curious to know if you guys are even going to be playing Crusader with the next upcoming season, because again, if the Angel power gets changed, and even if it doesn't get changed, it's not easy to play. Are you guys even interested in playing Crusader? If so, what build do you guys actually plan to play? Now that I've shown you guys most of the different newer powers for the gameplay. I think for me, I might skip out on Crusader. If the Angel power stays though, I will think about rolling Crusader, but I think they definitely need a buff in some sort of department. Otherwise, they may not be going to see that much play, because there's not like really too many different builds that you can play with Crusader off of the top of my head. That would be like new and emerging, other than like there's the pet build, which again is not top tier. I believe LOD Bombardment, with the exception of like the Angel Cheese that I showed you guys early on. That one will probably see some play if it doesn't get changed, but otherwise we may not be using the new powers. And that's the point of a new season, right? Is to play the new stuff, and a con is technically getting changed as well. But I'll be dropping build guides. Let me know if you do plan to play Crusader, which build you plan to play, and if you guys would make any changes to the Crusader, what would it exactly be? I also think Blessed Hammers could use definitely like a numerical change. But that wraps things up for this video pretty much. But I also want to give you guys a tier list, and I'll be working on that very soon within the next few days. I'll give you guys a tier list of what I think are going to be the best classes for the next season. But I'll check the comments in this video. Let me know what you think are going to be the best classes. I think definitely Monk, Barb, Necro, Demon Hunter, they're looking like the top 4 right now. But I'll go over all of the PTR like top placements, you know, obviously what has actually cleared what, and as well as checking to make sure they don't have like 10,000 plus Paragons, because that can skew data, right? Anyways, take care, and if this is your first time here and you want to see more Diablo as well as other action RPG and more gaming content in the future, hit subscribe to the bell and you'll definitely see more very soon. But take care. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.